Guys, I want to talk about rushing learning how to drive, and I'm going to use my own downfall to help you to know like why you shouldn't rush things. Okay, so I am teaching my stepson how to drive today for the first time, and it's really exciting. And yeah, I'm really excited about doing it now because I've got the luxury of time, and because there's no money involved. I'm going to be taking my stepson to a car park, and I'm going to be really focusing in on the clutch. And to be honest with you, I've got the luxury of time. And there's no money, there's an endless amount of like care and attention. So I'm taking him to a car park, and to be honest with you, because I can spend as much time as I want on this, that's what I'm going to be doing, you know. And he's just going to be an absolute legend on the clutch, and I'm going to do that with my own children. But let me just talk about how rushing things and trying to get to the cool stuff is just not a good idea. You do not want to go out there and be like, right, I want to get onto roundabouts as soon as physically possible, because that will make me look like I'm really doing well. I'll be able to say to all my mates that I did a roundabout today on my like 31st minute of learning how to drive. Guys, it's just rubbish, guys. You just don't want to be doing that, I'm telling you. So I've been a driving instructor for 23 years, yeah. Let me think about this carefully. When I did a CBT, a compulsory bike test, I think I had been a driving instructor for 7 years, okay. So I thought it would be a really good idea for me to do a compulsory bike test, because some of the people that came into my car was like, oh, is the clutch like the clutch on a bike? And I was like, I don't know. So I thought to myself, I'll go and do a CBT so I can communicate with these people. So I went off and did a CBT, which is like the first hurdle to becoming like a biker, yeah. I was allowed to be on a 125, which is a geared bike. And I'm going to tell you right now, I failed, right? I contacted my one of my friends who used to be a CBT instructor, and I was like, oh, Tom, can you take me out and do a CBT with me? I'd like to do it with you. And he was like, Ros, I haven't done it for like years and years. And I was like, yeah, but it'll be fun, yeah? Like, it will just be like a day out, we'll have a great time. And he was just like, I pressured him into kind of doing it for me, right? And I think he was doing bike, he's stopped completely now, but I think he was doing motorbike tests only at this time, and CBTs just weren't in his life, and they hadn't been for a while. And I pressured him. Now, obviously, Tom knew that I was a driving instructor because we were all mates. We went out for dinner, like we went in the car, and he just knew I was a driving instructor, right? So he, bless him, and this is me like blaming a teacher, right? And look, it's human nature, yeah. You can't face taking the blame. So like basically, when we went out and like he told me about the helmet and blah blah blah, had the little chat with me and all the rest of it, went on the bike, and basically we were in a car park to learn all the basics, right? And I hadn't got it right. I didn't get it. I was sat on a machine, which I was quite nervous about. I wasn't strapped to it in any way. I didn't have a seat belt. I couldn't believe that I was just sat on this thing that could go up to 70 miles an hour. And I wasn't even strapped to the thing. I didn't really know which way to like pull or like make it go forward. I didn't know how the accelerator really worked. I didn't have control of the clutch very well. And my friend was just like, right then, let's go out onto the road, yeah? It'd be really good fun. Now, looking back at this situation, because it's a very long time ago, yeah? I've been a driving instructor for 23 years, and I think this happened to me when I was a driving instructor at 7 years. I didn't need to go out onto the road, yeah, because I knew the road. I'd been a driving instructor for 7 years. Like, the road wasn't the bit that I needed to do, yeah? I needed to connect to the new machine that I was on. I'd never seen this machine before. I didn't even know what did what. I didn't know how to activate the foot thing. The foot thing. The clutch. Hold on a minute. The gears are on the foot, on the left foot. All the bikers are going, fuck, like, why am I listening to this woman? Yeah, so I didn't know that the gears were down there on my left foot. I didn't know how the clutch worked. Yeah, I didn't know how to even accelerate properly. And my teacher, bless him, he thought it would be fun to get out onto the road. And even though he's a lovely person, right, I don't feel like this was the right choice, yeah, because I knew as a driving instructor how the road worked. That wasn't the bit that I needed to do, yeah. So anyway, I went out on this bike, yeah, and it wasn't good, man. It wasn't good, yeah. I felt really unsafe and I was quite scared, and I had glasses at the time because I've actually had eye laser surgery, so I had glasses, and he had advised me to keep the visor open, yeah, so that the air can get in and that your glasses don't steam up. And we then went onto a 60-mile-an-hour road, and the air started to go under my visor and up like this, and it was pulling my head back like this. And to be honest with you, it really petrified me, yeah. So I wasn't confident enough to take off, like I wanted to use my strong hands, like bring it down. I can't remember which hand I used, yeah, it's been such a long time, but whichever hand I took off was the accelerator hand to put my visor down so my head wasn't being drawn back by the wind. And when I did that, of course, I went really slowly on a 60-mile-an-hour road, and then my driving instructor brain like clicked on and went, oh, I'm driving way too slowly, I'm riding way too slowly, like this is not good. And I accelerated, and it wasn't good, guys, yeah. I didn't lose control, but like I was like trying, I could remember being like, I felt like out of control, and I was like trying to put my leg down, which is obviously an outrageously dangerous thing to do, and I'm not proud of it, but like I didn't know what was going on, right? And anyway, obviously I failed, of course I did, and I needed to fail, yeah, because I needed more time, and of course I did, right? And that's fine, yeah, don't disagree with that whatsoever. In fact, I wanted to fail, but just to rub salt in the wounds, you have to like push the bike up onto a stand. It doesn't have a kick down stand, it's got like you have to like push it up onto its stand, and I'm only like 8 stone, yeah, so I can't like push it up onto the flipping thing. Tried to push it, and then I just couldn't, and then the flipping thing just fell on me, yeah, just to like rub salt into the wounds. It was like the worst day of my life. I'd like bought it as like a CBT as a present for me and my partner, so it was supposed to be a nice day out, and then I'm absolutely beside myself. Like it was just like the worst day ever. Failed. And then I threw all my toys out the pram, and I'm just like, no, I'm no good at it, I'm not going to do this ever again, and like rah. And then for about 6 months I was just like, no. And then I sat with myself and I was like, do you know what, I tell my students to get back on the horse all the time. I tell my students to like lick your wounds and then get back on the horse and like sort it out, right? And I thought to myself, I've got to do it again. I've literally got to do it again for moralistic reasons of like why I tell all my students to get back on the horse, don't I? So I've got to like do that. And so I booked another one, and I booked it with a totally different person, right? 1, I didn't want to put the pressure on my friend, and 2, I was a bit embarrassed, right? So, and I just booked it with like another friend that I had, and I went to him and I just said, look, please don't think that I'm a driving instructor. Please just think of me as like a 17-year-old customer, right? And just literally, please just talk to me like just a normal person, yeah? Because this driving instructor thing, I need to connect to the machine. So anyway, we stayed in the nursery area of the car park for ages and ages, which is exactly what I wanted. Connect to the clutch, connect to the feet, do figures of 8. Really get round there, understand how to control the new machine that I'm sat on. And we stayed in there for ages, yeah. And then finally he was like, how do you feel about going out on the road? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready. And we went out, and I nailed it, yeah, like some kind of legend. Went down there biking, yeah. I think it helped because I had my eyes lasered then. Yeah, I think I had. My eyes were lasered, yeah. So I'm like driving around like, you know, biker now. I'm a biker. And I passed it, right? So anyway, I just wanted to give you that story today about don't rush things, yeah? Don't try and be like on the roundabout. Don't try and go on a dual carriageway. Don't try and like say to your mates, oh, you know, I was going around and doing this, that and the other on like, you know, half an hour into my first lesson, I was in like Jamaica, yeah, and we were driving from England. Just, you don't try and get to the cool stuff, because you just won't be able to do it. Think of me, right? You're just not going to be able to do it. You need a solid foundation. Like a house, you need to build a solid foundation, otherwise the house is going to fall. You're basically building, you're doing all the cool stuff, but you're building it all on sand. It's just all going to fall to pieces, and you'll be really stressed. Secretly, you'll know that you just are totally out of your depth, and the drive is going to be lumpy, bumpy. It's just not good, yeah. Honestly, set your foundations. Don't rush it. Go to a car park like I'm going to do with my stepson today, and just really get to grips with the machine that you're using. If you bought any type of machine at all, whether it was a washing machine, dishwasher, like something where it's got buttons, yeah, you've got to like know it, you know, like learn it properly, and then you'll be a legend at it. Yeah, it's so important. The cool stuff's only cool if you really have a good foundation anyway. Otherwise, it's just everybody knows that you're not going that great. You know, they can feel it, you can feel it. It's well stressful. All right, guys. So anyway, I hope that this honest and open conversation about my total failure has helped you to know that you need to do the basics first.